So Dead by Daylight is releasing the 2v8 mode, and not a moment too soon, but is it what you expect? Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Pogesque, and today we're going to be talking about the new 2v8 game mode coming to Dead by Daylight, Voice Crack. It's going to be arriving only for a short time from July 25th to August 8th. So it's not a permanent game mode yet. People have been wanting it to be permanent game mode, and it's not. So it's number one as far as things people might not expect. It's going to be a limited time only event. Now, if we give them enough good feedback, it's going to be something that may want to explore later on, but it's so new yet to them. It's taken so long for them to do it, but it's new to them that they're going to be taking some time and probably some good feedback from this iteration. And a bunch of other things as well we're going to talk about here soon. I have it up on the Wikipedia, the official Wikipedia for DBD. So this isn't like the actual source from behavior, but it's basically parsed from that. So like I said, it's from July 25th and to the 8th of August. It's got a really cool icon here. I like that. And it's coming up. So it's this Thursday. Today is the 22nd as I'm recording this of July, Monday. So it's coming up really soon, and let's talk about some things. It's not going to be what you expect, as you can see by the footnote right there. So there's going to be 8 survivors, that's not really a shock, and 2 killers. And you can actually queue with your friends in this mode, just like regular trials. An additional first players queue will also allow you to queue up with a friend to play as 2 killers in the trial. Really cool. You never really had kill with your friends. It was always kill your friends, or just custom lobbies now. I don't think they call it kill your friends anymore. Despite maybe some potential controversies. All right, sorry about that. I just scooted myself to the bottom right just so for better visibility. There's not much going on this side of the screen. But yeah, you can queue with a friend to play killer. That's pretty neat. It's the first time I'm ever going to see that. Survive with friends and kill with friend mode. I like it. So 2v8 can take place on up to 5 random maps, and each version is a supersized version, so they must have gone through and found a way to make it feel bigger and add more tiles, as opposed to just making them all fit onto an existing large map. Because there are large maps in DBD that could probably fit 8 players, or 10 total, I guess, with 2 killers. It's going to be Disturbed Ward, so the Asylum map. And it's different what you're thinking. You're probably thinking Larry's if you're like me. Larry's Institute is different. I thought that was an indoor map, but that's going to be with like the church in the middle and stuff like that. And so that's a good map, and we're going to see how that plays out. Gas Haven, I believe that is a gas station. Yep, so it's going to be a cool one to see how they made that even bigger. I'm wondering if they doubled the map size, or basically doubling the tiles on the map. Mother's Dwelling, that's already a really big map, so I'm wondering how much they added to that. And so these are also just select maps from certain realms, right? So you're not seeing Macmillan Estate, you're just seeing one map like Coal Tower. That's not mentioned here, but you are seeing Suffocation Pit, which is that mine. It's exciting. It's going to be exciting to see with these 5 maps how they made them feel bigger, but not like just padded onto, right? Or did they actually think about that at all? Do they just want to make it fit for up to 10 players in a game, which is going to be crazy. Now, this next thing surprised me. Each map features a total of 13 generators, of which survivors must repair 8. Right? So now, in the current iteration of DBD, 4 survivors repair 5 gens. So you would think you would do 10 instead, and then it would be 13 gens. That would still be fine. Actually, it's a little bit easier for them as far as like doubling the objective goes. But we'll see how that plays out. I can't say it's going to be easy, right? You're having 2 people apply pressure to the map, and if they split up, it'll help. But as we'll see in a second, them splitting up might not be a good idea. So much like Pyramid Head, they have cages, right? This is similar to Cage of Atonement for Pyramid Head. Down survivors are sent to cages. So the mechanic of picking up a survivor, flashlight stun, or even just having to sit there and trudge to hooks for 8 survivors 3 times is no longer a thing. I don't even know what you do. Probably just the hatch kick animation and just send them into the Shadow Realm, and they're going to be locked into a cage. And survivors have cage states instead of hook states. So I'm assuming they're saying you have 3 Being uncaged, like being unhooked, does not alarm the killer with a loud noise notification. So you're only going to see, presumably in the UI, that they went from being in a box to being injured as they normally would be. But you're not going to know where, and they're probably not going to see the aura of the cages either. I think that it's also a mechanic of Pyramid Head. I mean, you're probably going to see a lot of the code and the behaviorism is going to be falling very closely in line with how his cages are currently coded. They're just going to take it and modify it a little bit to feel different, even though it's going to be mostly the same. Each map has a total of 20 chests. So in my most recent video, I talked about the Lara Croft perks and how, that one specialist could be really strong. And people were telling me there's only 3 chests in the entire map if you don't bring any offerings or perks. This is going way above beyond that, right? So if it's 3 with 4 players, now it's 20 with 8 players. So if you do the quick math, it's more than 6 times the increase of chests. Makes you wonder exactly why, but I'm thinking it's because they can't bring items. And again, we'll see that here in a second. Survivors have the ability to self-heal after reaching 2 cage states and entering their final life, which is interesting. It's not their hook state or cage state. They're calling it the final life, even though they just directly said cage state. So it's like every time they get, caught in chase, it's a life they lose, which is interesting. Typically it's like, you get a second chance, not you get a second life or what have you. So interesting wording. Could just be from the wiki, I'm not sure. You see they get no perks. You don't choose a perk, but you choose a class. And this is really cool. I do like this as far as how survivors can feel different from each other. And I'm wondering if they have to have like a minimum of, or maybe a maximum of 2 types of classes, right? You can't have everybody go a certain class. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. And they're going to maybe lock it at 2 max, so everybody has to pick a certain role. You're probably going to see survivors dodging lobbies because they don't want to have to play the support role or what have you. But maybe they'll be assigned to it. I'm not really sure how that works. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe it'll just be like kind of like a League of Legends has ARAM where they're assigned a character. Maybe they're assigned a role and a character in this iteration. So classes are determined in the lobby and influence how a survivor will play during the 2v8 trial. Classes are visible to all other survivors in both the lobby and during the HUD on the trial. So I wonder if you can pick... survivors can choose their class, freely choose a preferred class. They're not bound to a specific character or players. Okay, so they can all go the guide and just get gens done quickly if they really want to, but they're missing out on other buffs. Because maybe some people they don't want to sit and do gens. They want to run the 2 killers now. It's going to feel really cool. You're probably not going to see a lot of people wanting to do gens. You're going to want to see people like trying their hardest to juke 2 killers at once. It's going to be really cool. So 4 classes. First one being medic. Ability number 1, it grants the ability to see or to boost nearby survivors to boost their healing speeds. So that's pretty cool. So I don't know if you're healing them with the boosted speed too, or they're just healing others around you. So it's like you're not the medic directly. It's you're making other people the medic. You're like the supervisor, the supervisor effect. Number 2 is to see the aura of injured survivors. That's pretty interesting. That's like empathy, the Claudette perk, but it's just part of having this class. And number 3 being the default increase to healing speeds. That'll be cool. So I'm guessing that no, you don't get the ability 1 from yourself. This is only this is to everyone else, and this one's to you. So like maybe you and somebody else, right? You'll both get the boosted healing speeds. I wonder if you're both a medic. Would you boost each other's healing speed? It's just stupid fast. I don't know. I wonder if they've adjusted the healing overall, like time it takes to heal or not. Probably not. So the guide is next about generators. Reveals your aura and that of the generator you're repairing to your team. So it's like Better Together, I believe, the Nancy perk built in. That's not too bad. Ability 2 is to see the generator of auras, or the opposite, the aura of generators. So that would be like Visionary. So that's pretty nice, or even Deja Vu. And then ability 3 is a default increase in progression bonus when hitting great skill checks. So there's even more of a benefit to having that perfect timing. And maybe it's good to delegate, the skill to those who can hit really good skill checks and get those gens done most efficiently. You're going to be seeing a lot of probably a power struggle between the survivors of who should do what. Because a lot of people are like, I don't want to play the guide, or I only want to play the medic, or whatever. Like, you're going to see people having to trust each other more so than ever. So solo queue is going to be even more solo queue in this scenario. So It'll be funny. Third ability is Scout, or sorry, class is Scout. Ability number 1 is you reveal the aura of the killer, breaking a breakable wall or pallet, or damaging a generator. So, interesting. So you get, what is that one perk called? Alert. It's a Feng Min perk, Alert. And it does it for like 5 seconds. I'm assuming they kind of just took a lot of these perks and just kind of put them into these classes. So I wonder if it'll have the noise, the sound that Alert has too. Rate me on that sound effect, by the way. And of course, second ability is you reveal the aura of a killer who is in your line of sight to your team. That's something that we haven't seen before, so that's actually kind of interesting. If you can see them, their aura is revealed, which is really cool. We'll have to see how that works out with the killers they have chosen to include, as we'll see here very soon. You can kind of see it peeking at the bottom. And of course, the final one is basically you make no sounds when injured, so Iron Will and Urban Evasion are in like one ability. So that's pretty neat. Pretty sneaky, as it implies the Scout. You're not to be caught, and you're doing the best to help your team. Basically, like in a support role. I say even more than medic, to be honest. Because you're not exactly, helping your team directly by healing them. You're helping them by gathering info, recon. And then the final one is going to be the one who likes to do the looping, right? The Escapist. Your first ability is to have a shared sprint burst with nearby teammates. Applies to nearby teammates. That's pretty cool. Is that going to have an exhaustion, or is it going to have a cooldown? So we'll have to see how that works. Number 2 is reveal the aura of breakable walls, pallets, or windows. So you have Windows opportunity baked in, pretty nice to have when you're doing those loops. And the third one is default increase to running speed while injured. So it's not like, I'm trying to think of that one perk, resilience. When you're injured, you vault faster, you do actions faster, repair, heal, whatever. This one is movement speed while injured. So it's almost like the very old version of made for this, where you get 3% more movement speed when injured, because now it's when you're not mending, but when you have basically when you're mending, it has that. I can't remember what it's called right now, but so that's the effect there. Pretty cool perks. I mean, they're pretty cool, classes and perks to go with it. I feel like you're going to see a lot of this and a lot of this, and you're going to have people like not really wanting to do these. And is it really a problem if you see 4 and 4 of those? Not really, because what is DBD right now other than just running and repairing gens? Unfortunately, I kind of wish there was a bit more for survivors to be able to do than just those 2 things. But unfortunately, for the last 8 years, that's how behavior has left it, and that's how it'll stay. So I'm not really going to argue with it because it's been working for them so far. So, and of course, now it says skills, talking about the 2v8 is restricted to the original selection of 5 killers. The selection of 5 original killers, excuse me. I feel like my reading's so bad today, so bear with me, guys. But I wanted to bring you guys this to let you know how this is going to play out, because I'm going to be trying it, and hopefully you guys are too. And let me know what you think in the comments below. Are they doing this in a right way, or are they maybe being a little bit too careful, and maybe they're not really allowing people to play with perks with any killer they want? Is it the gens that the amount of gens they have to repair, is it too high or too little? Do you think there should be some kind of action debuff on either side? Is cages fair? Just some things to think about. Just kind of put in your head, just some ideas. Maybe we could change it and make it better for a permanent game mode. So you get the original killers, right? Trapper, Wraith, Billy, Nurse, and Huntress. And now the killers have shared team power based on their unique skills and come with a slight balance and base kit tweaks to make them play better in this mode, which is cool, because not only have they been doing that in general and balance changes, they're now doing it with this game mode to make them feel even better, because there's 2 of them and there's also double the amount of survivors, so a lot more work to be done. Trapper, right? He's very basic. He puts traps down and he gets more by default, and he has a faster setting speed for those traps. Only problem I don't like about this is Trapper still steps in his own traps and stuns himself. He's still going to do that in this game mode because you can't choose add-ons, right? You're set into these, we'll call it killer classes, right? For the killer you've chosen, that's what you're stuck to. But your ally, when they walk through it, the bear trap, it gives them it gives that killer a movement speed boost. So if you put a trap down, they don't set it off, they actually go faster because of it. So maybe you can get some like nice tight loops. Say even Wraith is going for a chase and your Trapper, just 2 very basic killers. They could zoom really fast, because it's not going to benefit, I'd say, these 2 having that movement speed. It might, depending on how long it lasts. So it might. So it'd be interesting to see, funny enough, how Trapper and even Bubba would work together. if Bubba or say other killers were going to be added to this game mode eventually, or it should be a permanent game mode. But anyway, so Wraith, right? He extends the undetectable status effect when cloaked to the other killer nearby. So that's really cool. If you're like running together, you have somebody like Billy who has no terror radius now because he's walking with Wraith who's cloaked. That's pretty neat. Now you're going to be visible and he's not. So that's going to be a problem. You're going to have to be careful of that, right? Maybe hide Wraith behind the other killer. That way they don't know like why Billy's sneaking up on him. I could see Huntress, or not even Huntress, sorry, Nurse doing really well at this. Huntress, if they make Huntress finally have it so she doesn't sing when she's undetectable, that would be really strong. But we'll see how that goes. He has faster uncloaking and cloaking actions, and he moves even faster while cloaked. So very basic changes for him, but it's like Windstorm and I guess what are the other add-ons that allow you to go faster cloaking and uncloaking. We'll see how fast that is. I hope they actually do a percentage breakdown at some point. That would be nice to see. So Billy, right? Reduced default cooldown times when colliding with obstacles. Really nice. Like the kickback chains. It's going to be nice to have when there's so many people and they might like be running together and then they split and you hit no one, but you actually hit a tree instead. So increased control of the chainsaw. I'm curious to see how much that is. As far as like turn radius goes, the chainsaw no longer applies double damage, so it's only going to do one health state. Not sure how I feel about that, but because you have to put them in cages and it's even easier to get them on hooks, cages, I'm not going to complain about that either. But however, survivors suffer from exposed while he's in a chainsaw sprint, right? So say you have Ray sneaking up on somebody with Billy, and he's in a sprint. Everyone on the map, like Michael Myers, would apply this effect, is going to be exposed during the sprint. I wonder if they made it so it's not going to keep doing that loud boom exposed sound effect because it's going to be happening over and over again. Because they added that a while ago when you're exposed, just to like scare you. I wonder how they're going to mess with that. I don't know if they're going to leave it the same, like constant jump scare with Billy going into a sprint. I have a feeling they didn't change that, and that'll be funny. So Huntress, she has more hatchets, so she has 7 by default now, which is even more than before, and she probably will have 10. If I had to guess, she'll have 10. Enough hatchets to down 5 survivors, if that's part of the game. Faster default movement speed when out of hatchets. Interesting. I wonder how much it's going to be. Is it going to be like 115%, or is it going to be like less, like 112.5 or something? I'd hope it'd be 115, just to kind of give her that boost. And faster default reloading at lockers, and survivors hit by a hunting hatchet have their aura revealed to the other killer. That's pretty cool. So that's like her one purple add-on where it gives you 6-second reveal, but it's only to the other killer though, so it's not going to benefit her, which was the point of that add-on. So we'll see how that plays out. I think we can get some good value out of it, but I don't think you're going to see a lot of Huntress just by the look of it. Maybe I could definitely see some cool combos with Huntress, but I have this feeling you'll probably see Nurse and you'll probably see Race, Trapper, Billy, but you're probably going to see very little. I just have that feeling. Unless they did some other tweaks they don't mention about Huntress, she needs more help to deal with 8 people, especially if you have someone like Trapper. These two really aren't that strong on their own, and they tend to fall behind if they don't have the game under lock and key, which is funny because I just released a video on YouTube. My last video was about a Huntress game where I got a 4K, but that was a fun one. Recommend you go watch that. Anyway, that's just my guess. I just feel like she's going to be uncommon, but maybe I'll be proven wrong. We'll see what happens. But the Nurse, she's actually going to start creeping back into her stronger iteration like she used to be. Extended lunge range, default lunge range, so she can get further away like lunge attacks, which is one of her add-ons she has, and it's basically mandatory when you play Nurse. Feels good, so you're going to be seeing, this is going to be satisfying. The chain blink window, I'm not sure how I feel about that, because when you start messing with stuff like chain blink windows with like Blight too, how long it takes for him to use another dash, it doesn't feel good to have it be longer, but you're used to the certain like muscle memory of the blink windows. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Is that a good change to do that? Having more of a reaction time? Nurses should always be quick. Good Nurse players quick on the mind and how fast they can react. If they need this to time out because they don't want to blink anymore, it's going to be a burden and they have to wait longer for it to time out until they can actually recharge both of their tokens again. Reduced fatigue is good, always good. No complaints there. They don't have an ability to reduce fatigue, they don't have an ability for you to increase your distance is what I was thinking of. They've basically taken away all of her add-ons that modify the strengths of a kit, right? The distance of the blank can no longer be increased, can only be decreased. And I'm trying to think of other things they've done to really mess with her, but for good reason. Nurses were on like 100-game win streak, 1,000-game win streak, whatever. She was very strong. Harder to play, but very strong. Just running an additional chain blank when near the other killer. And I wonder how that's going to work, right? If you're within, like, say, 16 meters, is she going to have 3? What if you started using your blanks and they walk away? What if you're charging up your third blank and the other killer walks away? How does that work? It would have to lock in as soon as she starts to charge her first blank, I would imagine, and I would hope. But we're going to have to see how that plays out, because I'm feeling like some jank stuff is going to happen where she's charging her third blank and the other killer walks away, and then she just instantly fatigues, or like the game bugs out and she goes into -1 blanks or something, and it's just an absolute mess. Let me know what you guys think about that too, because I feel like that's very much in the realm of possibility. And that's it. That's pretty much it. We'll see what they say. 2v8 will return with new iterations and additional killers in the future, and has a chance to become a permanent game mode at some point. The classes Escapist and Guide were called Runner and Mechanic at some point in development, according to their file names of the icons. And 2v8 uses an internal food-based code name, Calamari. Internal food-based code name, Calamari. I wonder why that is, because it's eating time for the killers or something. I don't know. I'm excited to see how it turns out. And that's pretty much just the recap of the 2v8 game mode. It's not going to be pick whatever killer you want. It's not going to be every map. It's not going to be, any perks, any add-ons. It's not going to be any killer, I guess, because survivors, I think they could pick any skin they want. I don't think it matters like who they play as far as I know. It might only be the original survivors and Michaela for some reason. So as far as I've seen in the art goes. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below too. It's the last time I ask you to do that. Just let me know what you think overall. I think it's a good start. They've waited a little bit too long in my opinion, and it's not like whining or complaining. I'm just saying they could have capitalized on this mode and maybe sold like skin sets for like killers that could play well together. Like maybe they make a Wraith and a Billy, like like skins that would match when you play them together, right? I guess you could say that because they've done certain types of skins that fit. I think what was it? It was Billy, it was Blight, and maybe Wraith all had animal skins. I think Clown as well. So like that one will kind of play cute together. But I'm thinking maybe they could do even more than that with this game mode. They could, if they really wanted to, they could sell more stuff to have, stuff like that. Like killers can really enjoy some connection between each other with this. Because it's really cool to see how you could like take over a map with 2 different types of killers. Like imagine even like Plague and Freddy. I don't know why that would be good. I'm just saying, imagine, right? How good they could work together, just for an example. So, but yeah, let me know also what you think. I'm sorry, I said it one more time. Let me know what you think in the comments below, even about this video. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm excited to see what they have going forward. And thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.